Hey everyone, welcome to episode 76 of the Total Hockey Training Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Sean Scahan. And before I talk about my next topic, just want to remind everybody, Total Hockey Training, we are in our postseason phase. Off season will start June 15th. You can get access to that link in bio. That is my year-round program. We will be finishing up the postseason in the next couple of weeks and then getting into the real meat and potatoes of our program, the off-season program, and then we'll roll into preseason, in-season, etc. So check that out. The school community is growing. We still have some great topics on there and some free information. For my local clients at both facilities in Ham Lake and in Woodbury, for our summer 2026, I've added some different options. I get it that people have so much craziness going on in their lives, they can't commit to the 4-day program. So we have some options at both facilities, both a 3-day option and a 2-day option. So if you have any questions, please reach out and we'll go from there. Now, today's topic is developing self-confidence. Now, I thought about this topic because one, not too long ago, I don't think I would have any inclination or any clout talking about this topic. Why? Because I definitely was one of those kids, persons, people, whatever, that had self-confidence issues, self-esteem issues. I was a terribly shy young kid, afraid of his own shadow in some ways. I remember I had a stuttering problem in sixth grade. I talked about this on a previous episode. And I remember like vividly, I remember sitting in rows in, I think, yeah, sixth grade, sitting in my seat in the rows in the old Catholic elementary school. And we would take turns reading a chapter. And I can remember like, okay, I'm in this row and this chapter is going to be my turn. And thinking in my head, can I get that first syllable out of my mouth? And oh my God, it was so embarrassing when I couldn't get it out of my mouth. I didn't even have a stuttering problem. I couldn't even get the word out. So I just look back and I think, why? And I don't know. I was just, my self-esteem, my self-confidence was lacking. And definitely it showed up in other areas of my life as well. And even when things, like I learned, and I always say, things happen for you, not to you. And I think when I look at life in that aspect and the universe and God, whatever you may want to think about it as, things happen for you, not to you. And I've taken the last couple years to really focus on building my own self-esteem, self-confidence. And I'm probably one of those people that, someone might say, how is he not confident in himself? Maybe I wore a mask for all these years, but I was in some high pressure situations a lot, working with really highly successful, confident people. But I also saw some of the people that were very talented at what they did, but also maybe lack self-confidence. So what I want to talk about is some of the things that I've learned to help me with my self-confidence. One, fake it till you make it. I believe in that. And I think as you're faking it, you are also learning and developing another thing I think is important, and that's two, repetition. Repetition, doing things over and over and over again is only going to help you get better at it and develop more self-confidence. So, for example, strength and conditioning, I'm very confident in doing that. I can stand in front of a group, lead that group, keep my eyes on the group, coach the group. And what I think I'm really good at is getting people, kids, athletes, whatever, getting them to do what I would like them to do in the safest manner possible. And the years and years they talk about the 10,000 hour rule. I'm definitely have I think I've probably surpassed 20,000 rules in strength coaching. Now, earlier in my career, especially when I was a young strength and conditioning coach in the NHL with players who were a lot older than me at the time, was I nervous? Did I lack self-confidence? Absolutely. When I had to coach those groups with some of those superstars, some of them with these very self-confident personalities that in my mind could have been intimidating or I might have been a little scared of. I faked it until I made it. And I think I did a pretty good job. I learned from those people too how to exhibit self-confidence and how to have that charisma, that personality, and to have that aura about them. And so, yeah, definitely I fought with that. And it was maybe imposter syndrome a little bit. And then I realized, again, going back to what I said earlier, repetition, repetition, repetition. This podcast, episode 76, you can go back to episode 0 with Anthony Renna. And I do have some listeners, by the way. I was not confident that I would get listeners. I wouldn't be doing number 76 if I didn't have listeners. So thank you. But again, 76 episodes. That's repetition. That's me having the ability to get in front of the camera, which I was scared of a little bit before, and doing it over and over and over again. So repetition matters. Number 3, I think, is don't give a shit what anyone else thinks. And I think that's helped me tremendously in the last few years here with not only just coaching, but putting myself out there, putting these podcasts out, putting more stuff on social media, and not giving a shit what anyone thinks. Now, do I have people in my life who I care about what they think about me? Absolutely, I do. Family, close friends, no doubt. And my clients, of course, as well. But the rest of people in the world who maybe may have been a part of my life before that aren't now, I don't care. If they judge or whatever, I don't care what maybe competitors might think about what I do. And that's helped. That's helped. And again, repetition, not giving a shit what anyone thinks. I think number 4 is having good personal skills. So what does that mean? Things like make eye contact when you meet somebody, shake their hand firmly when when you meet somebody. I can remember people like some people that I would consider on my shit list in life, I guess. I remember meeting one individual, and I remember shaking his hand when I first met him, and it was a wet noodle, no eye contact handshake. And you have it in the back of your mind, okay, like I shouldn't trust this person ever. And I think that stuff is very telling. And maybe I'm wrong, but I wasn't wrong with this individual. I will say that. But things like that, have eye contact, stand up straight, good posture. 5, the gym. Yes, the gym. I can remember kind of getting out of my shyness, quiet persona back when I was a young teenager and getting in the gym. Not because I saw muscles in the mirror, but adding up, again, going back to repetition, adding up those gym appearances over and over again. Exercise increases the ability to feel good over and over again. So the more workouts you do, the better you feel about yourself. And also the mirror can help for sure, especially when you're thinking about that self-esteem, that confidence, that ability to be proud of the body that you have and that you're building. I think that can go a long way. So, most importantly, what does this have to do with hockey? And I would say everything. Everything has to do with hockey. All the things that I talked about, repetition. Okay, you're talented at something. Do things over and over and over again until it becomes a pattern in your brain and your body that you can replicate it over and over again. Don't give a shit what anyone thinks, especially, I look at, I think about NHL players. And when I look at, I'm not going to lie, I like to look at Twitter or Instagram, whatever that is, and I see people like ripping on players. And the better ones that I've been around, they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit what fan X thinks about them or fan Y thinks about them. They just continue to show up on a daily basis and do the same things over and over again. So that's repetition and not giving a shit. And of course, strength and conditioning. Absolutely. Strength and conditioning, I think, is can be a huge component for increasing self-confidence. No question, when I talked about with myself, getting in the gym, building your body, yeah, if you all of our athletes that come to Skahan Sports, they get leaner and they get stronger. And for most people, that's what you're looking for, right? When you go to the gym. So I want my hockey players to feel good about themselves when they look at themselves in the mirror every day. And that can definitely help you on the ice, especially when it comes to gaining strength, gaining getting faster. So you're more competitive, you believe in yourself, and you have to keep that going. You can't, you're going to have these setbacks. You're going to have these things, like I said before, that happen for you, not to you. And you're going to have those things. And you got to get back on the wagon. You got to keep it going. You can't feel down about yourself. You can't dwell on the negatives. You got to be grateful for what you do have. And you got to get to work and building those habits, doing those things over and over again, and most importantly, not giving a shit what anyone else thinks about you. So I know that was a quick one. I know there's a lot of great people talking about self-confidence and having it and being able to do it on a daily basis. And I'm still learning, and it's a something that I always constantly want to improve. But like I'm doing in this episode, I'm doing another episode. It's another rep. I've been to the gym. I've done all those things. I'm still coaching groups. So I'm always working on my self-confidence. Now, I can talk about my personal life where things didn't go well. Again, going back to things happen for you, not to you. You learn from those things and you build those repetitions over and over again, getting better. And that's increasing self-esteem and having self-confidence. And I hope that helps you. If you're a player, if you're a regular person, these things have helped me. And I know that they help the players that I work with as well. So thanks for listening. And if you have any questions or need any help with anything, please let me know. And if you have any topics you'd like me to discuss, let me know. So see you next time.